All right, Shalom. 1 second here. There you go. Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachak, Kodash. Double honors to our venerable apostles and others of great millstone who rule well. Peace and blessings to the Lord's elect, the house of David. And it's the brother Aharon coming back at you with a quick lesson, global and be edifying and uplifting unto the elect. All right, and today I just decided to go live. All right, and want to touch on this so-called government shutdown that's been going on the past couple of weeks. All right, pretty much at the end of so-called September 30th into October 1st was the beginning of that so-called shutdown, where these two, the House basically couldn't come together, all right, to pass on certain bills in order for the so-called government to stay open. And now we're starting to see the side effects of these days. As is written, Yahushua said, these are all the beginning of sorrows. So we got the right person in position, which is DJ Trump, and he surrounded himself with the so-called right people, all right, in order for them to fulfill this right purpose, all right, which is purposed by Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, all right, as a punishment, okay, for all the wicked deeds that these so-called Americans have been doing for all these years. Another sign of America's downfall, because as is written, how has the golden city ceased? Okay, the Lady of Kingdoms, all right, the well-favored harlot, all right, everything is not working, all right, in the benefit of the so-called American people. Hence, everything is not working for America as a whole. Okay, because your sitting president right now, all right, has pledged allegiance to Israel, and he's doing everything in his power to bring about the so-called New World Order agenda. Okay, they've done a great job with this whole division, all right, of the houses, the division of the people, as they've always had so-called divide and conquer, all right, which is all basically creating confusion in order to bring that chaos. Ultimately, from that chaos, they come in with that order, that new world order. So all the proverbial pieces are in place. Okay, and at this point, we're just waiting for that one big event, as it's written, that sudden destruction, and that's going to kick everything to another gear. All right, but as far as we know, based on what we've been waiting for, what we've been expecting, all right, we are definitely in the time of Jacob's trouble. Okay, this is the beginning, like I did the video the other day, all right, the commencement of Jacob's trouble. So we are definitely in those times, man. All right, and the shutdown pretty much kicked off, all right, the effects that people are going to feel. Okay, and I have another article here I'm going to go into real fast. All right, but before I do so, let me get this quick precept here. All right, this is a book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, and verse 3. It says, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie." All right, and what is that vision? All right, that vision is what the prophets, starting from my elders and apostles of Great Millstone on down, have been prophesying. Okay, as is written in Ezekiel, I believe the 12th chapter, it talks about what is this vision, this proverb that Israel, all right, is saying. Okay, that the vision is far off. Okay, basically that the prophecies are gonna fail. Basically, like, oh, we're not gonna see it in our time. All right, well, now you're seeing it and you're feeling it. You're going through it. And the brother Bakar was saying yesterday, all right, that we're in the times where the prophets we're not gonna be talking anymore. All right, there'll be no need for us to speak. Remember, we kept saying that there's gonna come a time where we're not gonna be out here on the streets talking, because there's no point in us prophesying. Everything that we talked about will be happening, and we're in those times. Okay, the troubles that we talked about, and who's being affected the most? You're looking at it as so-called black women, the most. Okay, you so-called black women, you always gonna be getting the brunt, all right, of these boots. I mean, of these troops, man. You're gonna be getting the brunt of it because you don't have no protection. All right, you're the least desired, least favored women on the earth, but yet you're the most proud. Okay, super reckless, man. Completely out of control, completely out of order. All right, and the prophecies have signed for you too. Okay, So the book of Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 3 says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak, right, and not lie. Meaning, the prophet's going to be done talking, all right, because the prophecies are going to be fulfilled, where people are going to be doing videos, all right, showing how the prophecies are being fulfilled. Hey, lay down, lay down, sit, and lay. Let's go. Shut it up, right? People are going to be doing videos, which they're doing now, all right, but it's going to be intensified. It's going to be even worse. All right, you got people doing videos crying in their cars because rent is too high, right? They're crying because they don't have food to eat. You know, people are just, they're downtrodden right now. All right, America is in a depression. This is the greatest depression. This ain't no Great Depression. This is the greatest depression. All right, because it's across the spectrum. All right, it's across the spectrum. Young, old, everyone, women, men, everyone is going through this hardship. And it's just the beginning. That's the crazy thing. All right, to think about all the stuff that's going on, that people are suffering right now. People are not even ready. All right, people are not prepared for how things are going to be. How things are right now, people are struggling. I'm talking about people who are well off for years. They have millions of dollars, and they're complaining about how bad the economy is. You got people who got 3 jobs, and they still can't make ends meet. You go to the grocery store, $200, and you're coming back home with 4 items. Your fridge is empty. You get your paycheck is always pretty much the same, right? But it's always, before the money even come in, you've already designated for what it's going to be doing. That's hell, man. And then the government keep effing you, all right, by taking a lot more taxes now. You're like, yo, come on, man. They nickel and dime you everywhere you go. And it just happened to be that all the other things that you may need, they're also going up. Electricity bills is going up. They talk about utility bills, right? All these things are going up out of nowhere, all at the same time. It's almost like a purposeful designed squeeze on the people. Okay? It's like they're in cahoots, man. On one side, they're telling you all these good promises. Oh, we're gonna win. We're gonna keep winning. We're gonna get so tired of winning. And then the very actions that's supposed to be bringing winning, it's just bringing L's. And the people are just sitting there in hopes that, okay, whatever this guy is saying he's going to do, hopefully it turns out right for us, man, because the way things are going is not looking good. But we're going to keep hope alive. You're going to sit there and keep hoping and hoping and hoping, and ain't nothing going to come out of it. And every single day, right, every single day is going to be worse than the day before. All right, and the day after is going to be worse than the day that you're in right now. All right? So just remember that, man. Your best days is always going to be the yesterday. Your worst day is going to be the day that you're in, the day of, and the day after, all the way until the Lord come back. Okay? Because scripture says that Esau, the red devil, is going to take peace out of the earth. Okay? That means trouble. The opposite of peace. As a matter of fact, let's look into that. War. All right, let's go into that the word is the antonym for peace, right? Antonym for peace. Right? It says the opposite for peace is irritation, noise, conflict, right? Which is war. Okay? War. Okay? Agitation, distress. Okay? What is it? Chaos. All right? Evil. Okay? War, like I said, conflict. All right? So these are all things that, what is it? Fire, right? Destruction. These are all things. Hunger, death, all the things that's written in the prophecies as the Lord is going to use to bring that chaos upon the face of this earth. All right, we are in those times. We're seeing those things happening. The earthquakes in diverse places, the famines. The famine is going to be a whole nother thing. And guess what? Every event that the Lord is going to use upon this face of the earth is going to bring the MOTB closer and closer and closer. Because it is the agendas of these so-called elites to bring or to use these so-called natural disasters and chaos and crises to bring about this so-called New World Order. All right, a time of evil, perpetual evil, controlled by AI and all these. This is their goal. This is their agenda. This is their plan. All right, they're gonna use the military, and once the military gets tired of kicking your ass, they're gonna bring in the real troops, which is gonna be the robot dogs. We've been warning about that for years. Okay, they got robots that look like human. They got humanoid robots that are actually like Terminator type energy. They got that right now as we speak. these ICE agents, they're gonna go only but so far, because they're still Americans at the end of the day. It's gonna get to a point where they're not gonna want to do it, and that's when Esau gonna come in with his alternative armaments. I'm gonna call it like that. All right, that's the Lord kicking things into another gear. You think it's over? Oh, no. The Lord just gonna turn it up even more. So just remember that every time Esau, gets more draconian, that's the Lord tightening the grip on you people, man. All right, because this is all what's to come. It says what? Going back to Habakkuk 2, it says, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. Okay, so it will surely come. So we are in the times that we're witnessing. All right, the prophecies coming to pass, the end time prophecies. Okay, you got the truth that's been brought out. You got the demons that popped up at first that said, "Oh, I wanna build with you." Well, fuck what you want. We don't want to build with you. Okay, we want to build with you. What you want to build with? What are you building? Who you building with? What are you talking about? We don't need you here. Go find your own materials. Go find your own purpose and go build on your own. We don't want you around us. All right. And then they get mad, and then they turn to demons, and now they want to so-called debunk the truth. The Hebrew Israelites, that's a hate group, I thought you wanted to build with us. Now we're a hate group, huh? Right? So these devils being exposed left and right, they're desperate every single day, and that's why they're coming down upon the earth with great wrath, because they don't have much time. Next year, they're going to have, 250 years pushing for this so-called New World Order from 1776 to 2026. Okay, so they know their time is up, man. 250, they know their time is up. All right, like they say, they're gonna go out with a bang. All right, quite literally. Okay, but before that, we got this right here. This is what's about to happen to these people. Right there. Right, it says here. This is white. It says WDIO News, and it says here, federal government shutdown impacting SNAP benefit recipients. Okay, and like I said, this is going across the spectrum. Whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, all the hell that's coming, the Lord says what? Babylonians. He said what? Egyptians. Okay, it doesn't matter what side you're on, as long as you're an Egyptian, you're gonna get this work. All right, we don't claim to be Egyptians. We're not no Americans. We just Israelites who are captive in the land of America. We know who we are. All right, and our Redeemer is on his way to get us up out of here. This is what we're waiting for. All right, so the rest of these people who live here and are actually Americans, and they love to be in America, and they love America, and so on and so forth, they want to do everything to protect America. These are sick people. You can't reason with sick people. All right, they need mental health. They need mental help and treatment, right, from a different type of world, because the treatment on this earth, on this side, is not helping them. So it's going to be a otherworldly type of treatment. It's going to be by fire. That's the only way you cure this type of illness that these people are suffering. Like people that try to defend their own imprisonment, enslavement. You know what I'm saying? Like suffering. You just want to stay here. We telling you that the Lord is going to get us up out of here and give us a better life, a kingdom, a real kingdom, a place to be, where we're going to be in rulership and righteousness is going to reign upon the face of the earth. All this bullshit we're going through is no more. Like that Jake that's venting in his car crying and shit. Talking about America is garbage, the system is garbage. Yes, we're telling you we have a Redeemer who's coming to get us up out of here. But you the same type of niggas who gonna be like, nah, I don't want to see that to happen. Not yet, at least not yet. What the fuck else? What are you holding on to, bro? You ain't got shit. And the little that you have, these devils about to take all that away from you. You hear what they're saying? The dragon is speaking. He's telling you that you own nothing and you'll be happy. And anyone who try to come against that, we gonna take you out. This is what the dragon is saying. We finna starve you out. All this SNAP benefits, I'm about to read it right now. This is all getting ready to put not getting ready, they're putting the clamps on these people, man. The government, I told you, this government thing could go another 6 weeks, right? All they do need really is 6 weeks of that shit, and that's it. The people gonna be softened up and ready for the taking, man. All right? This is all done by design. It's called subversion. Look into that. All right? So it says federal government shutdown impacting SNAP benefit recipients, right? Recipients. And Trump said he's getting ready to do some more cuts. So, shit, get ready. Again, it's just the beginning of sorrows, meaning the beginning of Jacob's trouble, Jacob's sorrows. All right? And you're going to notice that, hey, this shit is starting to feel like, it's a targeted kind of energy. Yeah, we've been telling you that, man. It's Jacob's trouble for a reason. Both homes, both houses, man, both northern and southern kingdom, you're going to feel the squeeze the most, because this is a target that the Most High has put on your back against you. Okay? It says the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, which is known as SNAP, provides food assistance for individuals and families in low income, right? Which are what? Predominantly Jake neighborhoods. All right, you could tell the difference the moment you go from a Jake neighborhood to a Edomite neighborhood. You could tell the difference right there. All right, the building structures, they're kind of spaced out. They're nicer. They actually have homes. Jake be living in projects like apartment complexes. Edomites don't live like that. They actually got homes, individual homes. All right, they got the lawn. They got the white picket fence that's around the backyard. They got their nice driveway that leads to where they park their cars in their garage. They got it all. Jake don't got that shit. You can go to no Jake neighborhood where they got green grass around, they got trees. You know what I'm saying? They got the apple tree right there that you could just pluck some apples and eat right there. They don't got that. Nice parks where you can go sit there and just enjoy some fresh air away from all these people. They don't got that. They don't got that. Yo, come here. Sit your ass down. Let's go. Sit down. Sit down. Sit. Be quiet. I'm busy. You know? Jake don't got none of that. But they do have is trashy ass streets, tiny ass little streets. You can't even drive through. It's all double parking. No parking space. The slightest thing you do, you get a ticket. Yo, either my neighborhoods, they got meter parking, which is for hours. Yo, you could park here for 2 hours at a time. You know what I'm saying? But you don't gotta pay for that shit. You just park there for 2 hours. You could stay there for more than 2 hours, but typically they respect the way they set their own shit up. You know? But Jake is a paid parking meter. You gotta park. Yo, it's like, damn. Everything is a disadvantage for you Jakes, man. When you go into your communities, you spend a lot more money. Your roads are terrible, all right? Like, it's just an unsafe environment to be in, okay? And that's done by design, because that unsafe environment, you can't really think, you can't prosper, you can't do shit. You're always worried about something, right? You're always worried about something. How you gonna be able to even have time for yourself or have time for your God, for your spirit? You're not gonna be able to do that. Like, look where I'm at right now. You got the water, you got the trees and everything, you got the skies. Jake neighborhoods, you're not gonna see that. This is more like outskirts though. Where I'm at right now is more like you gotta drive away from all the people, Edomites, Jake, everyone. You just gotta move away from all these people just so you can have some peace with nature. See? But this is what this will be. All this shit is all part of the hell, but this is the best part of the hell, I guess, right? You know, away from people. That's really at this point. You know, just staying away from people is pretty much like a reprieve now. It's like, damn. Anyway, so continue. It says, in fact, there are more than 10,000 individuals and families in St. Louis County that rely on SNAP. All right, they rely on SNAP. Okay, meaning your life is depending on it. All right, as it says, as a matter of fact, let's get that real quick. All right, you relying on it. Let's see. You're relying on it, right? Let's look up the word rely real fast and see if that makes sense to us, right? So the word rely, it says here to it's kind of cold out here, right? It says to bind fast, to oblige, to attach, okay, to fasten. All right. So when you're being relied on, right, they're depending on you. They fasten onto you. They attach to you. All right. So that's niggas is attached to the system because they rely on the system. It's like the dog that's biting the hand of the owner, or the dog that bites the hand of the feeder or something like that, or the hand that feeds them, something like that. Right? They don't want to bite the hand that feeds them. But now the hand that feeds them is telling them, yo, I ain't got no more food to give you. And they still being loyal to that nigga because they think, oh, yo, I mean, it's just going to be for a short time. They're going to get it together. We're going to get back to getting food again. Nah. Okay? Nah. There's a book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 48 says, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord Yahweh shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. You're relying on the system because you're in want of all things. You're lacking it without them. Without Esau's system, you can't make it. This SNAP benefits, all these benefits that Esau had you sitting on and getting fat off of, right? He's taking all that shit away from you. The dainties, right? The teats. Okay? And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. Okay? So that subjugation spirit that you can't get out of, you're enslaved to your own mind, so to speak, right? You just can't get out of your own way. Right? And we've shown you the way, and you still don't want to get out of your own paths, man. Okay? So continuing, it says what? St. Louis County will not be able to approve new or pending applications for SNAP benefits starting Thursday, October 16th, that was yesterday, until further notice. That's indefinite. Okay? Until further notice is indefinite. Meaning, we can't really give you a set time or day. So whenever that could be, well, you on your own. Okay? That's going to cause a situation of famine. And I was watching this video, I think it was this morning or yesterday, right? It might have been last night or this morning, but you have the military, okay? A whole bunch of people from the military, they were in long lines, all right, trying to get food. I was like, oh shit, nah, this can't be. The military, right? Like basically like the Apostle Paul was saying, like, who's gonna go to war and not be taken care of? Like, I'm going to war for you, so you gotta take care of me, type shit, you know? But these niggas, this system here is so messed up that even the people that Trump is gonna use to bring about all this destruction on the people, he not even taking care of them. They joining long lines to get food, bro. I'm like, yo, that's crazy because they're not getting paid. They saying they're working on something and the military people gonna get paid all this bullshit. How long is that gonna be? Okay? And remember, the military people, you're dispensable as well. They're looking for the slightest excuse to get you up out of there because they want to use what they've been developing for all these years. Those military robots is what they want to use, man. Not you people. All right? They're using the military just to instigate, to bring about the chaos that they need in order for them to bring that order. All right? So it says this goes for other counties and tribal nations across Minnesota. Now individuals and families can still apply for SNAP benefits. Counties and tribal nations will continue to review those applications and work with applicants during this freeze. However, the applications will not be approved during the freeze. Okay? So in other words, even if, let's say, the government was to come back open, it's not going to be the same because it's going to be a completely different thing. How things will be done. You see how these devils are playing this shit out? They could literally just keep this shit shut down, and little other federal government agency that's going to be open, they're going to come in with some type of digital shit. So now you're going to go from, okay, you can apply right now, but it's not going to be approved until the freeze is over, right? Now, who's to say the freeze is the freeze is over? Now you can apply, but there's a backlog. So now they got to go back, oh shit, da 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 da. And now it's like, yo, it's taking too long. The system is fucked up. We're going to have to do digital now. We just have to. This is the only solution in order to get people back to work and get people back, getting their systems back. Look, the system is so messed up right now. We're in such a fragile situation. That's a crisis. They're developing a crisis right now. Prime reaction solution. Okay? If you can't see it by now, we don't know what else to tell you, bro. This shit is clear as day. They're fucking up the system from within and then creating this identity of domestic terrorism by saying, oh, anyone who's going to press against what we're doing right now, you be considered this because you're dangerous. Right? And they're tying it all in. They're tying everything in, man. It's all digital shit. This all the solution for the crisis that we're going through right now, the SNAP benefits, the this and that, and the shutdown and all this, the government is divided and all this. Do away with the government because people don't trust the government no more. Do away with that. That's also done by design. Famine, food shortages, that's done by design. Economic crisis, that's done by design. Okay? The division that causes that civil war, that's also done by design. This is all done by design. Okay? So it says, according to the Minnesota Department of Children, Youth, and Families, this change follows a notice from the U.S. Department of Agriculture. If the federal government shutdown continues into November, okay, listen to this now. So that's the whole month of October all the way into November, man. If the federal government shutdown continues into November, it will be impacting SNAP recipients because there won't be enough funds to pay November SNAP benefits. You hear that? Where's all that money going to? When you're sending billions of dollars over to Argentina, where the fuck is all that money going to, man? And you got these dumbass Americans talking about, oh, no king protest. Bro, you people are so gone. It's over with. All this protesting, stop protesting, bro. You're not going to stop what's coming. Like I always say, brace yourself for impact. You're better off just, getting yourself together. You protesting, you just gonna make yourself a target. They're gonna come mow everyone down, bro. They're not gonna stand for all that uprising bullshit. That's not gonna happen. All right? And if you see any type of protest or uprising, it's instigated. I'm just letting you know right now, because the time where people were supposed to rise up and actually show that, yo, we're not gonna stand for this, was during the CV lockdowns and get your jump shot or else. When they was talking that shit, that's when people were supposed to get up and be like, nah, we ain't with that. Government can't tell us what to do, what to put in my body, you crazy? And stand on that. But what did they do? They cowered for the most part. All right, they cowered. So now you mean to tell me that all of a sudden we're just gonna see some type of organic protest? Fuck out of here, man. These people are done. All right, they lulled them to sleep. They're done. It's called the Somniopolis for a reason. They're a sleeping city. These people are cooked. They out of there. All right, that's how you know subversion. All right, the subversion tactic has worked. When you show them all the evidence and you tell them exactly what you're gonna do to them, and they still support it, and they actually ask for more of it. Yeah, it's over with. Okay. It says St. Louis County is reminding people who receive SNAP benefits to keep their contact information up to date with their county or tribal nation. Keeping everything up to date. Remember we used to hear that? Get your booster shots, get your jump shots, because they'll keep you up to date, right? And keeping up to date means what you're upgrading as technology upgrades. That's what that means, keeping up to date. All right. So they bring the technology. You gotta adapt to that technology. That means you've been upgraded, you've been updated. You're keeping yourself updated. All right. So they're gonna keep doing all these kind of games, and as it goes, it's gonna intensify. Okay. As the months go by, and there's no relief, it's gonna feel worse and worse. The weaker you get, the worse the pain will be. Okay. So it says here, additional information regarding impacts of the federal shutdown can be found on the Minnesota Department of Children, blah, blah, blah. The Minnesota Family Investment Program, MFIP, provides cash and food benefits for people with dependent children who have low income and limited assets. This is literally a setup for the UBI, which will all be digital. Digital IDs and UBIs will go hand in hand. Just remember that. They've done this experiment before. I believe it was in India, where there was like some type of food shortages, and it was giving people food, and they demanded that they show ID. And you have people, literally like a mother with kids, like, yo, my children are starving. Like, I'm right here. What else do you need to know? You see me right here. I'm telling you my name. I'm telling you where I'm from. You could see me physically that I'm malnourished. I need food. Look at my children. And you're insisting that I show you some form of ID just so I can get some food? They're like, yeah, we just need to do that because we want to make sure that people are not coming back to claim to be somebody that they're not, so they can take some of the food because we don't have much food left. That's the mindset they're gonna come up with, man. We need to make sure we're tracking everyone and everything, so that way we can have a good head count to give the supply as necessary. Remember, they're doing government cuts and shit, which means that everything is becoming tighter, right? But the money's tighter. The little wiggle room that you may have in order to do certain things, that's also a little tighter, right? Everything is squeezed. So once everything is squeezed, now you have to prove yourself in order to get one of those things that's so limited. We can't just be giving things out anymore. People be coming for seconds, they'll fake an identity or come. No, we can't do that. We're very limited on resources. So those who are gonna get the resources, we must identify them. So that way we keep a track of who's getting what. See how easy that is? And people will oblige to this because they need it. Okay? Remember, they're focused on children, youth, families. Right? These are the most vulnerable people in society. They're starting with them. The oldest and then the youngest. And once they're done, they can focus really on the middle. All right? It says, according to DCYF, St. Louis County can continue to approve October MFIP benefits through Wednesday, October 29th. Although if the shutdown continues, St. Louis County will not be able to approve anything after that date, and November benefits are not expected to go out. See that? So it looks like October, if this shit keeps going, it looks like October might be the last form of you can get off the system. You know? And there's what, 2.5 more weeks left of this month? All right, today's already the 17th. So things are, the date, man, it's crazy how time is flying, man. All right, this is a special supplemental nutrition program, which is SNAP for women, infants, and children, which is WIC. All right, WIC, short for Wicked, right? Is a nutrition and breastfeeding program that helps eligible pregnant women, new mothers, babies, and young children. So remember what Yahushua said? You see, all these prophecies, as we read in Habakkuk, all these prophecies are playing out, man. Okay, because Yahushua said what? He said what? Woe unto you that give suck in those days, right? There's the book of Matthew chapter 24 and verse 19. It says, and woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. Why? Because of this shit right here. And this is just the beginning of it. Wait till your children start getting sick because they're all malnourished and fucked up. You know, mothers can't be crying in the streets because they can't get food, baby formula, all this shit. Yo, man, America's about to be wow, man. And I remember this back in September. I said, yo, by the end of I think at the end of September, I was saying by the end of October, we're going to see a different world. And we in halfway, and we already seen a different world, man. You know, because the agenda is all playing out. So WIC, which is what for a nutrition and breastfeeding program that helps eligible pregnant women, new mothers and babies and young children. Okay, remember Ezekiel the 9th chapter, the 4th verse on down. All these people that we just mentioned are non-exempt from that judgment that the Lord is sending out. Ultimately, that death penalty. Okay, it says as of Wednesday, October 15th, WIC services are still operating in Minnesota. WIC recipients should keep their appointments and continue shopping with their which is electronic, you see, electronic WIC card and using their benefits. You see that? So, hey, another way they could bring this shit out is when they collapse the whole system, those who are gonna be, hey, Shalom, Shem, Yahweh, Shem, Yahweh, Brakatah. You know, and shalom to you brothers and sisters in the comment board, Yahweh, Shem, Yahweh, Brakatah. All right, so going back to the point that I was making is that they could shut this whole system down and then give the option of electronic, right, or digital. And those who transition to that digital use, they're going to be allowed, okay, to start eating off of the system, this new world order system, all the way until they get enough people. Then they're going to make it, all right, this is how it is now, this new system, right? And people going to look at it as a relief, like, oh yeah, the e-WIC, it's hard for everyone, bro. So if I got to do the digital form of doing it, I'll do it. But again, remember, what we know, most Americans don't know. We see these things as, oh, this is the trap they're going to get people with. These people just see it as an opportunity to get out of the debt that they're in or the scarcity that they may be in. That's why it's presented to you that way. We see the trap for what it is, but again, it's not presented as a trap. That's the trick. It's not being presented as a fucking trap, man. So those who are not aware, those who don't know what's going on, they're going to get caught out there. They're going to get caught out there, man. Okay? They're going to get caught out there. Let's get that real quick. There's a book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 9, and verse 12. It says, for man also knoweth not his time, as the fishes that are taken in an evil net, and as the birds that are caught in a snare. So it's a plot and a scheme to get you, but it's not being presented as such. All right, because you know you got hunters, right? And what a hunter will do is you set up what's up, man? you set up a trap, right? But the trap is going to be, maybe he'll dig up some space somewhere in the woods and set up his trap and then cover it with like leaves and shit. See what I'm saying? Or what he'll do is he'll put bait. You know what I'm saying? You put like a little food or some shit right in that trap. So you're thinking of it as, oh, that's food. Let me go get that shit. And as soon as you put your hand in there or you put your head right in there, clap, you out of there. You see? So that's how they begin. You get so many different traps, but you're not suspecting it to be a trap because it's being set up at the time of your most dire need. Okay? The starvation is kicking in. The hopelessness has kicked an all-time high. You look to your left, everyone's catching hell. You look to your right, everyone is catching hell. You look ahead of you, there's more hell that you got to go through. You look behind you, you're like, damn, I can't even go back to that shit. I just left from there. I can't go back to that shit. And what's ahead of you is worse than where you came from, but you're not trying to go back to that place, so you're stuck in one spot. Where you gonna go? Now you look up and you say, yo, Lord, the only place I could go is up, Lord. And he looking at you like, nah, ain't no space for you up here. Now what? Now that's a true dilemma right there. So Esau knows that. That's why he's closing up all the corners, all the sides, all your other options for escape. He's shutting all that shit down. And once he gets you to that point where you're like, oh, fuck, I need food, I need water, I need shelter, I need this, he present it to you and say, here, I got this right here for you. You got to apply for it, though. And we have to approve you to do it. So you see, he's testing you. You know what I'm saying? Are you willing to break and come to me and you know what I'm saying? Give up yourself, meaning receive what I'm gonna give you? Huh? You gonna do that? You gonna break your pride? You hungry yet? You thirsty yet? You cold yet? You broke yet? Yeah, because we're trying to break you. That's the whole system. This whole system is to break you. It's to make you to what? To fall when the hour of temptation comes. So at that point, that's the only way out for most people. But for the elect, we're gonna be good. Okay, we're gonna be good. We're not gonna get caught out in this snare. All right. Ecclesiastes 9, continuing in verse 12, continuing, says, "So are the sons of men snared in an evil time." We're in the evil time, man. All right. And these traps are being set as something that's a reprieve, as a benefit. Okay, as a way out, but it's a trap. It's a trap to get you in and locked in where you can never get out. Okay, and that's Esau for you, man. He's a devil. All right, he will set a trap and say, this is your only way out. But you get in there and there is no way out. That's fucked up. All right, but that's this devil for you, man. So that's why scripture says, never trust thine enemy. Never trust thine enemy. If you know the nigga is hunting for you, and then now all of a sudden he has a change of heart, talking about, yo, hey, I got some food, I got some water, just come inside and register, and then I can give you everything that you need. Oh yeah, but a few months ago you was cutting all my benefits and calling me that I'm the problem of your society, and now you want to help me? Really? So I'm supposed to be a fool to trust that you better help me. How do I know that there's no poison in this food? And why are you insisting so much that I should come and eat the food? Why specifically me? Why not everybody else? Why are you trying to help me out? You try to hurt me, now you want to help me? You're insisting to help me. Why? What's going on? You're going to see, man, they're going to play it all out, just as we just said it. Okay? It says an evil time when it falleth suddenly upon them. Okay? So just get ready, man. All right, so continuing back in the article, it says, WIC also provides nutrition education and counseling, nutritious foods. All right? Bugs are not nutritious foods, bro. Lab-grown meat is not nutritious foods. Okay? GMO, bioengineered food products is not nutritious food. Avocado that you try to cut that feels like rubber is not nutritious food. Okay? Oranges or tomatoes that you slice and you put in water and then they start swimming around, that's not nutritious food, bro. All right? But that's these devils for you. Okay? It says, and referrals to health and other social services. It says, for additional information or guidance, WIC participants can visit their local blah, 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 blah. It says, now there are several community resources available to help St. Louis County residents access food. Okay? So food shortages are here. This sounds like a scarcity, bro. This sounds like a famine in the works. I'm talking about full spectrum, full-blown famine all across the board. I'm talking about you can't get it from the grocery stores. I'm talking about people who are not on WIC programs are gonna want to be on WIC programs, but you ain't gonna have no system to be there to say, okay, yeah, you could come on and join in. You see what I'm saying? Because you don't fall into that so-called tax bracket or whatever the case may be. You just don't qualify. Remember, just get ready for that. You're gonna hear a lot of you just don't qualify. All right? Or you have no access. Okay? They're gonna treat everyone who does not comply like a second class, third class, fourth, fifth class, sixth class citizen, man. All right? It says what? It says in southern areas of St. Louis County, there is a second harvest Northland in Duluth on Tuesdays and Fridays from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. People who are income eligible, see? They're income eligible, meaning you have access to it or you don't. You qualify or you don't, okay? Or in crisis, are able to access this food shelf program 1 day per week. Registration begins 4:30 p.m. See that? This is all, again, the makings of the UBI system. All right, this is all the makings of the UBI system. And it's going to be all government-based programs. All right, digital government-based programs. All right. It says there's also Ruby's Pantry pop-up food shelf in Duluth. Every third Thursday of every month from 4:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. At First United Methodist Church, food bundles are available for families. Right, so it always goes back to the church. All right, the church always got some type of role, all right, to play in these type of shenanigans with the people. All right, the church and your government. Them two niggas is in lockstep with bringing your enslavement through the digital means. Okay? It says here, there's also a Ruby's Pantry pop-up food shop in Harmontown. All right, they're telling me a whole lot of stuff we don't care about. All right, it says, towards northern areas of northern St. Louis County, there's a Ruby's Pantry. Oh, okay. All right. All right, so I guess we got the point. Basically, the rest of the article is basically telling us about where they're going to have all this food spots for people who may need it out in St. Louis. All right, so if you're in St. Louis and you do need it, you know what I'm saying, look into it. All right, but ultimately, if you're of the elect, the Lord is going to take care of you. All right, you really have nothing to worry about. Okay, the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai is going to take care of his elect. All right, and this reminds me of this dream that a sister had, and I think she might be in here with us right now. All right, and it was some time ago, but it resurfaced a few months ago. All right, and the Spirit was kind of waiting for an opportune time to bring it out, but through the Spirit, I'm just going to bring it out right now. Right, and then in the dream that she had, I believe it was a vision. All right, it was definitely a vision because it was very vivid. Okay, and it speaks to the times that we're about to enter into, which was a time of evil, a time of darkness, a time of chaos. All right, as is written in Ezekiel the 7th chapter. All right, an evil and only evil has come. All right, it's a time where you're going to see Jacob's trouble, like we've said, but the details of it. All right, 2nd Ezra 15, 2nd Ezra 16, all these things that we talked about. Okay, but in the dream, the sister was saying that it was herself, myself, my brother, a few other people that were with us, and life was just so crazy. Everywhere you went, it was just like a mess. Like the whole world was a mess. All right, states, cities, like you know how we always talk about the times that we're about to enter into, like all hell had broken loose. And she said that as we were walking, we went into like it looked like, I believe what she said was you know when you get to a gas station and you go inside to like the little shop mart that they got in there, right? And she said after we went in there, everything was fine. We got everything that we needed, and when we left, the whole place got dark and the food that was there was rotten. Everything just started getting bad, you know. And as it's like we hit a spot as a convenience store. The water sis, right? It was a convenience store, you know. And it's in the name, convenience, right? It's always more like a stop. You get your shit that you need right there and then be out. You know, so when we stopped there, we got what we needed, and when we left, the whole place got messed up. The food that was on the shelves was all going bad. Basically, like the Lord preserved it for just us to get it and then be out of there. You know, and when we left, He killed everything there. It was just dark. Like it was just, you can't go back and get anything from there. So if there was somebody who was behind us who was not part of our group, when they got there, they saw us getting those goods, but when we left, those goods were no longer there for them to get. You see, so that's how the Lord is going to set it up, where if you're not of the elect, if you're not in that inner circle, right, where the Lord is dealing with you and walking with you, you're not going to make it. All right, so He's literally going to open a pathway. All right, another so-called portal, I guess, right? Another portal where only the elect can access that portal, and everybody else is going to be like, "Yo, how do you get in there?" You know, they might enter into the portal and end up in a whole different world, and be like, "Where the fuck am I?" You know what I'm saying? Or just enter into the portal and come right back where they at. You know what I'm saying? It's like you just can't escape. You know what I'm saying? I'm just using that as an example that once the time comes, the Lord is going to set it up where only the elect are going to have what they need to survive. Okay? Food, water, shelter, whatever. All right, let's get that real quick. All right, this is what we're waiting for, man. All this WIC stuff that they're talking about, all these programs and all that, guess what? If you're of the elect, all right, the Lord is going to take care of you. Okay? If you're of the elect, the Lord will take care of you, man. Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai will take care of us. Okay? Let's get that real quick. Let me see here. All the pieces are set up for this, man. All right, it's the book of Isaiah, chapter 65. And Isaiah chapter 65. Start off at verse 11. It says, "But ye are they that forsake the Lord Yahweh, that forget my holy mountain." And that's just been the theme of Israel, man. All right, it's been, when you go through the scriptures, especially the Old Testament, that's just been the theme of these people. All right, that's why what the Lord is going to do is apropos. All right, and it's righteous. It's the only way. Like the example I gave, these are sick people in a mental asylum. You can't get them right. Right? Isaiah the 1st chapter says that what, the whole head is sick. You can't revitalize these people. These are the dead bones that they're gonna get. It's like, all right, they just couldn't rise. They couldn't wake up. They stayed dead. All right, they stayed there. So the Lord had to incinerate them with that fire. All right. So they're the ones that forsake the holy mountain, the Lord's holy mountain, that prepare a table for that troop, and that troop goes into what the Babylonian god called Mini. It was a god of numbers and fortune. Okay, So it's synonymous with the system here. Everything is all digits, numbers, right? There's percentages and, you know, it's like a system. Everything is a system-based thing, the systema, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? You got people that actually, you got the lottery system, right? Everything is all numbers and all this different shit. It all goes back to numbers and shit, all right? But it says what? And that furnished the drink offering onto that number, okay? And when you go into that word again, that number, it should tell you a little bit about it. Let's see if it's gonna do that. If it's gonna do that. All right, onto that number, right? So many says what? Many, fate or fortune, right? God of fate, who the Jews worshipped in Babylonia. So there you go. All right, fortune, numbers, numerology, all that dumb shit. All right, it's not gonna get you nowhere. All right. Anyway, verse 12 it says, therefore I will number you. So it's always like a mocking, right? You want to play those numbers games? Here you go. I'll number you, all right, to the sword, and ye shall all bow down to the slaughter, because when I called, ye did not answer, by way of the prophets. Okay, sorry for my elders and apostles of Great Millstone on down. The calling had been made, all right, and it's still being made. But this is the last glimpse of that calling. Okay, because very soon there will be no calling, because we're seeing the days that leads to that. Okay. So it says what? It says, because when I called, ye did not answer, right? That's synonymous with Proverbs, the 1st chapter. Okay. It says what? When I spake, ye did not hear, but did evil before mine eyes, and did choose that where I delighted not. Therefore, thus saith the Lord power, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall hunger, or ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. Okay? Behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart. Right? Are we not in the time of sorrows? Then now, how should I say these are the beginning of sorrows? Are we not in those times? Because we're seeing it self-evident. The people are sorrowing. Like, people are crying on video. We don't gotta speculate. Maybe this person might be crying, or they sounded like they were crying. We seen them crying. They're doing videos crying, both men and women. See, but mostly women. All right, the ones that was talking the most shit. Okay. So it says what? But ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit. When somebody's howling, right? You gotta paint the picture, right? So howl. Let's look up the word howl. It says howl ye, right? So howl says what? How you gonna explain the word howl by using the same word howl, bro? Let's look up. Let's go into the. Let's use Google. Look up the word howl. Right. There you go. It says howl. It says can refer to a loud, prolonged cry, right? Such as a dog or a wolf vocalization. A person crying out in pain or grief, or the sound of the wind. Okay? But we're going to focus here because this one right here is specifically talking about a person crying out in pain or grief. Okay? Making a complaint. All right? These people are complaining about an ungodly father. They all doing videos, oh, Trump this and the system this, and it's all broken, and what we going to do and how we going to eat. Okay? So it's basically, there was a horror movie, all right, called Howl. Okay? It says here, oh, right here, it says, oh, there's multiple of them. Never mind. It says 2010. A biographical film about the life of Allen Ginsberg and the creation of his poem Howl. We don't care about that. 2015 horror film. A horror film about a group of passengers trapped in a train in a remote area who are attacked by a creature. That sounds very interesting, right? A horror film called Howl. Okay? But again, a person crying out in pain or grief. That's what it means to howl. So you're howling for vexation of spirit. Okay? In other words, you're in despair. You're hopeless. All right? It's called dreadery. You're dreading the times. Okay? Why? Because the times are evil. Okay? Hey, the brother put a quick, beautiful precept right here. The brother Shamyar, MOV, Adamant Stone, Baltimore 3, Judges 10 and 14. It says, go and cry unto the gods which ye have chosen. Let them deliver you in the time of your tribulation. That's right. You see? Hey, the brother said you should see the movie. It's actually good. Wow, I'm gonna go check it out. Lord willing, I'm gonna check it out and see what that's about. See what spiritual insights might be in there. Spiritual gems that might be in there. All right, but I'm sure it's gonna be depicting the times that we're about to enter into. All right, because when scriptures talk about evil time, all these depictions in the movies, you could expect that to happen to some people, if not most people, ultimately resulting in death or injury or some form of loss. Okay, but you're definitely gonna be hearing and seeing people doing a lot more of this howling and all this screaming and crying. You actually got women who go into, I think it's in Cali somewhere, they go stand on top of some mountain and just be screaming. Like they said they scream because like it helps them feel better or some shit. Now only in America they do something. It's like they do dumb shit to think that that's just gonna help their situation. I just don't get it. But you get it, because again, we're in a mental asylum. And so, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's annoying, but you see it and you be like, you gotta remind yourself, I'm in Babylon, the city, the land of confusion. Yeah. These people are sick. They're inherently sick. Mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, they're all damaged. Damaged goods, man. All right? But yeah, man, we are in those times. Okay? We are in those times, man. Let's get a little bit more in Isaiah 65 and 15, and then we're going to close it out. It says, and ye shall leave your name for a curse unto my chosen, for the Lord power shall slay thee, and call his servants by another name. It says, that he who blesseth himself in the earth shall bless himself in the power of truth. Okay? And he that sweareth in the earth shall swear by the power of truth, because the former troubles are forgotten, and because they are hid from mine eyes. Ultimately, the elect are going to be delivered. Okay, the elect are going to be delivered. We're going to be the ones to breathe that enormous sigh, like, damn, Lord, the water. It's all over, like it's over with, man. In the book of Job, it tells you that 6 troubles, we're going to be delivered. In the 7th trouble, we're going to be delivered, man. See if I can get that real quick. All right, so that's what's coming, man. You're going to have a clear distinction between those who going to make it and those who not going to make it. The elect and the non-elect. Okay? The elect and the non-elect, man. And it all stems from this damn shutdown thing that they're talking about. It's going to bleed into other things. All right? It's just a catalyst. They just need a crisis to bring in other crises. Okay? Let's get this real quick in the book of Job. All right, calm down. Let's see. Jacob's trouble is here. This is the book of Job, chapter 5. I hope I said 5. All right, Job chapter 5 and verse 19, it says, he shall deliver thee in 6 troubles, yea, in 7 there shall no evil touch thee. Right? Verse 20, in famine, right? Talking about these WIC programs and all that, right? In famine, he shall deliver thee from death. Okay? While other people going to be dying, the Lord's going to be delivering his elect from that situation that's going to lead to death. Okay? It says, and in war, right? We are in the time of war. Okay? From the power of the sword. So these are ice troopers and ice rangers and whoever the hell they're going to come up with next, right? The Lord says he's going to deliver us from them. All right? Ultimately, that's Esau's sword anyway. Okay? And Esau is the Lord's sword. So ultimately, we're going to get delivered from all kinds of attacks, physical attacks, especially the prophets. That's why the women and the children who are going to be in the midst of those prophets, in the company of those prophets, they're going to be protected. All right, you're going to have an automatic protection because that man that you're going to be with is going to be protected by Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Okay, he's going to be provided for. You're going to be in the household or in the presence of an MVP, a VIP, very important person, very important prophet. Okay, everything that these men said is coming to pass. The good, the bad, the ugly, all that. Okay? It says, verse 21, thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue, all right? Neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh. At destruction and famine thou shalt laugh. Neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth. Okay? So, pretty much the prophecy just breaks itself down. Okay? Anything that will be a terrifying event, anything that will be bringing some type of troubles or uncertainty, the Lord says, look, I'll take care of it. Don't worry about it. Right? The Lord is going to be your guide. He's going to be our protector. He's going to be our provider. So we got nothing to worry about. We have everything to look forward to, really. Right? The world is looking like it's getting to their time of passing out. We say, nah, we just passing on. We just going on. We just going to the other side. We just getting started. You know, this is your world. This is not our world. We never had anything over here, so we don't feel like we're losing anything. As a matter of fact, the quicker things go, the better for us, right? The quicker things go, the better for us. All right. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna leave it off there. You know, just wanted to touch on this real quick, and just pay attention, man. You're gonna see a whole lot more headlines, leading to more people bugging out. As the winter, the winter months come along, starts getting a little colder. The winter starts getting harsher. Days are shorter, nights are longer, right? Things are tougher and tougher and tougher. Things are harder and harder. You're gonna see, but then also pay attention to the balance of it, right? How the Lord is also going to be playing a role in our lives. Where everything might seem dire, we may all be in the same dire straits, but we have a way out. We always gonna have a way out, where it's not gonna be the same way for other people. See what I'm saying? Where they're like, oh, we ain't got jobs over here, but then you of the elect. So then some way, somehow, somebody in there says, yo, I know you. Yo, you know what? Here, you could come in. You can get his job right here. But I thought you guys weren't giving no jobs. Yeah, we're not giving no jobs, but you can get a job. You see what I'm saying? Or you can come work with us, or you can come stay over here, or you can do this, or you can do that. There's always going to be some type of exemption for the elect. It's always going to be in our favor. Everybody else is going to be catching hell left and right. And that's going to be it until the Lord come back. All right. So just get ready, man. Hey, what's that saying that the angel gave Mary, that you are blessed and highly favored, something like that, right? So it's the same spirit that the elect are in. The elect are blessed and highly favored. I think the angel said that to Daniel too, if I'm not mistaken, right? That the moment his his prayer came up to the Lord, to the heavens, right? It was that his petition was answered expeditiously. You know what I'm saying? As soon as Daniel's prayer came up to the Lord, he heard it. Boom! He said, "Oh, Daniel, hey, angel, Yahushua, go find out what my servant Daniel is looking for and attend to him immediately. Attend to him immediately. Go find out what he needs, and minister unto him." And boom, just like that. Imagine that, being in the lion's den, and the Lord got Habakkuk bringing you food from damn near there. You in was it I think from Judea to Babylon. Just imagine that, traveling all the way. The Spirit just picked him up, boom, brought him there, fed him, take him right back. Being in the lion's den, not being eaten by hungry ass lions. Just imagine that, man. So yeah, man, we're highly favored and blessed in the sight of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and it's going to be very evident very soon. Watch, you're going to see. Just watch. All right. But anyway, I'm gonna leave it up there. Lord willing, you're edified and informed. In closing, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakakodash, the water Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai. And until next time, Shalom. Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Brakatam. Shalom.